Hi, folks. Greg Peters of Mountain View Chevrolet, and this is a taste of Mountain View. Today, we get to start out my buddy Sean Miller at Tommy's Famous, a pizzeria. Sean, I got to know the story about your legendary father, and you're a legendary dude too, but your dad's really legendary. So, how did all this come about? Where did the name Tommy's Famous come from?
It was coined in two different places. First off, the pizza tends to be more legendary than we are. We just showed up and ate and accidentally sold a slice. But initially, it came from two sources. Spike Lee had a movie out called Do the Right Thing, where it was a dad and two sons. Well, it was a dad and two sons. We came to the Ozarks. We came to Mountain View because Mountain View is eclectic and accepts lots of different people. We are in a purple little building just on the outside of downtown Mountain View. And a dad and two sons opened a pizzeria. Well, in this movie, Spike Lee, it was a dad and two sons, and it was called Sal's Famous. And Dad thought, well, let's coin that. Let's go with Tommy's Famous. And of course, Elvis Presley coined that phrase one time next to Dad. The movie was MGM, Elvis, That's the Way It Was. The last scene in the movie, the curtain drops. You have the orchestra, you have Elvis, it freezes, he has a towel around his neck, and there's Dad and Elvis. And Elvis goes, look at Tommy's Famous. So that's kind of where the name came from.
Hope you got the sound on.
The pizza tends to be famous on its own, but that's how the name came. Dad grew up in Memphis. He hung out with Red West. He was about 10 years younger than that group. So Red West heard that Dad was working head of security at the International Hotel in Las Vegas. And Elvis said, well, just put him on our detail. And several scenes in that movie Dad was in. So in that last scene, boom, look at Tommy's Famous. So that's kind of where that came from.
So this sign, I always read it as long as I can remember coming into Tommy's. I love it. Pizza will get you through times of no money better than money will get you through times of no pizza.
Mom was from Nebraska, so she had some recipes, and Dad was from Memphis, so that's where the barbecue came from. And then the pizza we discovered up in basically a cornfield in Illinois. There was a little hole-in-the-wall place. The guy was a race car driver, blew up an engine. We'd been bugging him because we were up there detasseling corn. It was a way to make enough money just to live through the winter. We'd go up there in the spring, detassel corn. And we discovered this little hole-in-the-wall place. And we bugged him. I said, hey, man, why don't you give us that recipe? Well, I ended up selling a Hobart mixer, a Southern Pride smoker, and a Baker Pride oven, and for $1,900. So we hauled it all down here, started on the west end of town, and found this little building, which was a beauty salon, abandoned. And we thought, well, this is close enough for we could do our thing, play our blues music, and people can just kind of step away from the square for a moment and experience something new and exciting and different, and then take it back home.
Sweet.
So that's what we kind of like to do.
As your dad would say, come by, say hi, and get a pie at Tommy's Famous, a pizzeria, next time you're in Mountain View.
Good.
There we go.